Director, Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Dr. A.K. Srivastav, Chief Executive Officer, Convener for today's conference, Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur, Chief Guest, Mr. Manmohan Sadana, Joint Director, General Secretary, Ministry of Tourism, Guest of Honors, Coordinators of the conference, delegates from corporate and academic arena, my colleagues and students, a very, very warm good morning to all. It's our immense pleasure and proud privilege to be amongst distinguished dignitaries. I, Hani Shah, feel proud and privileged to welcome you all on behalf of Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, and thank you for joining us at this 31st National Conference on Power of Media Shaping the Future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the aim of education is the knowledge not of fact but of values. It is on occasions like this where we get opportunities to test our knowledge and understanding. Our world today is increasingly driven by a combination of information and entertainment values, and these are both promoted by the explosion of communication, especially electronic communication such as satellite TV and internet. This explosion is the power of media. Media has become the most powerful sector of the nation. It has unparalleled influence on all the aspects of human life in present era. In present scenario, power of media is immeasurable and granted with a highly influential capacity. No doubt, media is responsible for the revolutionary change in the social structure, social behavior, and social attitude. Thus, this national conference will be focusing upon the impact of media in bringing out changes in society, impact of different media technologies on our society, how media can be a valuable asset to bring about desirable changes in the society. With this, now, may I have the honor to invite guests for today's event on the dais and occupy the distinguished chairs. First of all, I request Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur, convener for today's conference, to kindly occupy the chair on the dais. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request the keynote speaker for today's conference, Mr. Manish Desai, Additional Director General, IIMC, to kindly come on the dais and take the distinguished chair. Sir, we are pleased to have you here. I invite our guest of honor, Mr. M.K. Soni, Pro Vice Chancellor, Manav Rachna International University, to occupy the chair on the dais, please. Thank you, sir, for sparing time from your busy schedule. I now request our next guest of honor, Professor Dr. Nemo Dhardeen, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, to occupy the chair on the dais. Moving ahead, may I have the opportunity to invite Mr. Rishabh Sharma, Anchor Z News, to kindly occupy the seat on the dais, please. Now I request Mr. S.S. Handa, Academic Advisor, TIAS, to kindly come on the dais, please. And last but not the least, may I have the pleasure to invite our Director, Sir, Dr. Ajay Kumar, and Dr. A.K. Srivastav, Honorable Chief Guest for National Conference, Mr. Manmohan Sadana, Joint Director General, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. So we are pleased to have you here. Saraswati Mahabhage, Vidya Kamalochane, Vishwarupe Vilakshi, Vidyam Dehi Namostute. Ladies and gentlemen, Ma Saraswati is the goddess of knowledge and arts. Now I request all the dignitaries on the stage to join in lamp lighting as a tribute to Ma Saraswati. Please.
अज्ञानता से हमें तार
Now let's begin with the felicitation ceremony. First of all, now I request our Director, Sir, to kindly felicitate to our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Manmohan Sadhana, Joint Director General, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. May I now request Dr. Nidhi Gupta, Academic Controller, TIAS, to kindly honor and present a bouquet to Professor Dr. Nimodhar, Dean, Faculty of Media Studies and Humanities, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies. Please. Now I would request Professor Dr. Umesh Joshi to kindly felicitate Dr. S.S. Handa, Academic Advisor, TIAS. Sir, please. Moving ahead, I would like to request Dr. Sanjay Srivastav, HOD BA JMC, to kindly felicitate Dr. A.K. Srivastav, Chief Academic Officer, TIAS. Please, sir. One token of love from our chairman's side, sir, I would request again our director, sir, to present to our chief guest, please. Thank you so much. Let's move towards the proceeding of the conference now. I now request our director, sir, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Doctorate in Management, with 20 years experience in teaching, research and industry, instrumental in conceptualization and convened more than 11 international and 27 national conferences on various contemporary issues of management. Author of books on business policy, service marketing, and international business management. He is an active member of IMA and other professional bodies. Sir, you have been a great motivator and as achiever of set goals. It's my pleasure to invite you to deliver the opening address. Please, sir.
I take this opportunity to extend my special welcome to our star-studded panel on the occasion of 31st edition of Tecnia National Conference on the topic Power of Media Shaping the Future. At the onset, I welcome Chief Guest of the National Conference, Shri Manmohan Sadhana, Joint Director General, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, to grace the occasion. Prior to his posting as a Regional Director, Eastern Asia, India Tourism, Tokyo, he has experience of working as an head of the India Tourism offices in the Paris, additional charge in India Tourism offices Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Dubai, Johannesburg, and to the headquarters of Ministry of Tourism. He brought in-depth experience of promoting incredible India in the European, West Asian, African markets. He is a discerning traveler and has visited over 130 cities in over 30 countries of the world. I welcome you, sir, once again for accepting our request and sparing your valuable time to be the chief guest on this 31st edition of National Conference at Tecnia. I welcome guest of honor, Dr. M.K. Soni, Professor, Pro Vice Chancellor, Manav Rachna International University. Before joining Manav Rachna International University, sir has worked with many institutions of repute. Dr. Soni did his PhD from National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra, in collaboration with IIT Delhi on the microprocessors and control system. He has developed Center of Computing and Network worth of 1.38 crore prestigious project of Ministry of HRD, REC, Kurukshetra in 1996-97, and has guided many 70 MTech projects, dissertation, and 18 PhDs. He has published more than 156 research papers in various national and international journals and conferences. He is a member of technical and management committees in many universities and institutes. Sir has accredited more than 25 institutes throughout the countries and is also chairperson of NBA committees. He has delivered expert lectures in many universities and has been appointed as independent director engineer in the board of directors, National Projects Construction Government of India by the President of India for 3 years from 2010 to 2013. He has attended various conferences at Egypt, Canada, USA, etc. He has also chaired and attended technical sessions in many international conferences in Egypt, USA, Canada, and many other universities in India. I welcome you on the dais, sir. I also welcome guest of honor, Professor Dr. Nimodhar, Dean, Faculty of Media Studies and Humanities, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Dr. Nimodhar has been in the field of public relations and communications for last 40 years. She was Director Public Relations for 15 years and subsequently Commissioner Public Relations and Advisor Public Relations in DDA, Government of India. Prior to joining DDA, she looked after the work of publications and public relations in cooperative sector. Her innings in DDA and her media handling and PR strategy are well known in the public sector circles, public relations circles. Apart from working in the field of communication, she has been teaching as a guest faculty and visiting faculty at the many schools of communication and management in Delhi for the past 16 years. In the present position as a dean, she has taken a number of initiatives of bringing the gap between the academia industry. During her tenure as a communication expert, she has written a number of articles and research papers on various subjects as public relations, communication, and image management. Dr. Dhar has been recipient of many prestigious awards, the Punjab University Medal in MA Public Administration for standing first in the both regular and correspondence students, received HR Gokhale Medal of Journalism, received the Hindustan Times Medal for Press Laws, Award for Excellence of Public Relations 2007, PRSI, Development Citizen Charter for DDA 1997, developed guidelines and strategies for implementation of RTI in DDA in 2005, and recognized and appreciated by the Department of Administrative Reforms for improving and strategizing public interface in DDA. I welcome you, ma'am, on the dais, please. I also welcome guest of honor, Mr. Rishabh Sharma, anchor Z News. Mr. Rishabh Sharma is a renowned sports anchor, presently working in Z News. He has been having 12 plus years of experience with various media and news organizations. He has been opportunity to officiate in various departments and domains encompassing team management, sports reporting, sports anchoring, sports news, writing, production, advanced planning, and fresh recruitment of new staffs as well. Apart from reporting on big events like cricket events, he has been traveled globally for the coverage of 2 ICC Cricket World Cups, 3 ICC World T20, and 3 ICC Champion Trophy tournaments. And he has also been done reporting and given first-hand inputs from the field on the big events like London Olympics, Commonwealth Games, and Asian Games. As a reporter and a newscaster, he has also interviewed more than 400 plus celebrities from the sports and film and political background arena in the last 12 years on different occasions. Many of these interviews were conducted on the basis of personal contacts and relations. He has been exposed to ins and outs of the Indian news industry with a specialization in the field of sports, highly focused with a sound understanding of viewers' interests, production, and new projects planning. He has been consistently proven track record of successful meeting targets. I welcome you on the panel. I also welcome keynote speaker, Dr. Manish Desai, Additional Director General, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, is an officer of the Indian Information Services 1990 batch, Sir specialized in government and corporate communication, having worked extensively in the Press Information Bureau and the Prasar Bharati Corporation. Prior to joining IIMC, he was heading the PIB Mumbai office. Earlier, he was also CEO of the Central Board of Film Certification, and on 2 occasions, he also functioned as Director General of Film Division as a part of his additional charge and was instrumental in successfully conducting the recently conducted Mumbai International Film Festival for documentary, short, and animation film. I welcome you, sir, on the dais. I also welcome man of many facets, immense energy, our Dr. R.K. Gupta, chairman of the Tecnia group of institutions in absentia, who is going to be constant source of inspirations to holding these conferences on year basis. We request the star-studied panel of the National Conference to share the word of wisdom to develop alma mater and provide a new theories and practices prevalent in the contemporary media world and instill the grains of further propagations of pointers which can be searched and researched and can be developed as a topic for the future PhD research by the potential research scholar. Sir and Madam, your expertise and advice will take the students to a new level and instill confidence in the participants of the conference on the topic Power of Media Shaping the Future. I also welcome Dr. Shandhya Gupta, Vice Chairperson, Tecnia Group of Institution, Dr. A.K. Shrivastava, Chief Executive, Academic and Development, Professor Saroj Datta, Dr. S.S. Handa, Professor Vijay Agrawal, Dr. Kamaljit Kaur, convener of the conference, Shalini Gulwani, co-convener of the conference. I also welcome all the HODs and professors and faculty members of the Institute of respective departments of MBA, MC, and BJMC program on this occasion. I also welcome the chairpersons of various technical sessions, Professor Umesh Joshi, Senior Journalist, Mr. Sunshil Kumar, Senior Journalist, and Dr. Sanjay Shrivastava, HOD, BJMC Department. I welcome conference reporters, delegates, and the corporate resource person of various plenary sessions from the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, Noida, International University, PT Metro Global Services, Indonesia, Lingaya University, Delhi, Vanasthali Vidya, Rajasthan, Mata Gujari College, Fatehgarh Sahib, Punjab, IMS, Noida, BLS Institute of Technology and Management, Bahadurgarh, Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Mass Communication, Noida campus, Panipat Institute of Engineering and Technology, then Noida International University, Himalaya University, Arunachal Pradesh, Jamia Millia Islamia University, Delhi, VIT University, Bhopal, Maharishi Markandeshwar University, Ambala, Haryana, MDDM College, Biru Bhau Muzaffarnagar, Bhai Parmanand Institute of Business Studies, Delhi, Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University, Delhi, Swami Vivekanand Shubharti University, Meerut, Trinity Institute of Professional Studies, Delhi, and the Guru Nanak Dev University, Regional Campus, Jalandhar, Sharda University, Greater Noida, RIMT University, Mandi Govindgarh, and IME College of Law, Saibabad, Maharaja Surajmal Institute, Delhi, HNP PG College, Allahabad. The Institute is organizing this 31st edition of the National Conference on the topic Power of Media Shaping the Future. The key issues of this conference would be that we are in the ICE age, ICE, Information, Communication, and Entertainment age. So the powerful media weapon in the ICE age, dominance of digital media and conventional media, various themes would be media professionalism versus media consumerism, global media impact on society, power of media technology in shaping the future, power of shaping media and shaping the society in the viral effect, media ethics, paid news versus fake news, corporate communication, PR or CSR, media shaping future paradigms, media content and presentation versus investigative journalism and sting operation, media and neoculturalism, marketization of culture, ethical values and media power, cultural transformation and media globalization, media consumerism, media and multiculturalism, media communication, society and globalization, media information and communication literacy, changing concept of media language, and media convergence shaping the future. The deliberation of this conference will be compiled in the form of proceedings for circulation for the future reference. I wish the conference will achieve its objective to provide a multidisciplinary forum for the exchange of latest knowledge, new ideas, developments on the issues related to power and media. This event is going to bring various peoples together for the mutual support, education, and inspiration, and the participant will be learning new contemporary issues on the topic. I wish to give my best wishes to all the participants on this 31st Tecnia National Conference. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. Your thought-provoking address set a perfect platform for our speakers to deliver their presentations on where the power of media lies and their cultural representations towards society. After this, I request all the dignitaries to unveil the proceeding for this 31st National Conference on Power of Media Shaping the Future. Sir, please. Moving ahead, let me invite Mr. Manish Desai, who is the Additional Director General at IIMC. He is an IS officer too. He specializes in government and corporate communication having worked extensively in the Press Information and the Prasar Bharati Corporation. He has also functioned as Director General of Films Division as part of his additional in charge and was instrumental in successfully conducting the recently concluded Mumbai International Film Festival for documentary, short and animation films. Sir, I invite you to kindly come on the dais and deliver the keynote address for this conference. Please.
31वां टेक्निया नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस पावर ऑफ मीडिया शेपिंग द फ्यूचर इस उद्घाटन समारंभ के मुख्य अतिथि श्री मनमोहन सदाना जी, टेक्निया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस स्टडीज़ के डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर अजय कुमार जी। जैसे अजय कुमार जी बता रहे थे, स्टार स्टडेड मंच, क्यों नहीं, यहाँ डिस्टिंग्विश्ड एकेडमिशियंस हैं, न्यूज़ एंकर्स हैं और डिस्टिंग्विश्ड ब्यूरोक्रेट्स की उपस्थिति है और सबसे ज़्यादा एंथुजियास्टिक क्राउड की भी उपस्थिति है। और मैं ये मेरा सौभाग्य मानता हूँ कि मुझे आज यह नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में कीनोट एड्रेस पेश करने का मौका मिल रहा है। धन्यवाद आयोजकों को, मेरा सब तहे दिल से मैं धन्यवाद पेश करता हूँ। और इस कीनोट एड्रेस में मैं इम्पैक्ट ऑफ मीडिया ऑन सोसाइटी तथा भारत में जैसे अभी आईसीई के बारे में जो बात कर रहे थे, मीडिया एंड एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री का अहमियत क्या है, इसके बारे में briefly I will try to touch upon these issues. Media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make innocent guilty and to make guilty innocent. And that's power. Because they control the minds of the masses, said Malcolm X, the legendary American civil rights activist. From the days about, media has remained an integral part of human civilization. In today's world, media has become as essential as our daily needs. Media of today is playing an outstanding role in creating and shaping public opinion and strengthening society. From the days of the rock edicts of Emperor Ashoka and kings like Chandragupta, to the medieval Indian mass gatherings, to the modern days print, audio, video and digital media, media has always taken a pivotal role in shaping our society. During the days of freedom struggle, newspapers like Lokmanya Tilak's Maratha, Mahatma Gandhi's Young India and Harijan acted as platform to place the demands of common Indians and to express solitude with the freedom struggle. Our world today is increasingly driven by mass media. Due to the explosion of different means of communication, especially electronic communication, such as satellite television and internet, the media is viewed as a source of power that influences, controls, and promotes new standards in the society and reinforces the existing ones. Due to the impact of mass media, we are witnessing a major cultural revolution that is having an incredible impact on our society. Yet, despite numerous warnings, few seem to understand what is really going on or where this surging wave of social change is leading us to. However, this incredible power of media has a darker side too. Because of its tremendous potential to influence culture, television is often seen as an effective vehicle of propaganda available. Communication experts have lamented that the average person is remarkably naive about how mass media operates, the personal agendas of the production houses, the ultimate consequences to society of what is portrayed on media and how watching hours of television affects our shaping up and growing up brain. Widespread fear that mass media messages could outweigh other stabilizing cultural influences such as family and community led to what is known as the direct effects model of media studies. This model assumed that audiences passively accepted media messages and would exhibit predictable reactions in response to those messages. This reinforced the fact that media controls the mind of the people. One approach suggests that mass media is assumed to follow the ideological interests of the dominant class in society. The liberal approach sees the media as facilitating social agreement through dissemination of information and also of contrary opinion. There is another theory, the agenda setting theory of media. It states that the issues that receive the most attention from the media become the issues that the public discusses, debates, and demands action. This means that the media is determining what issues and stories the public thinks about. Therefore, when the media fails to address a particular issue, it becomes marginalized in the minds of public. There is empirical evidence to believe that this is indeed happening and happening on a big scale. But the arrival of digital media has altered the dynamics altogether. Social media has opened up the world, converting it to be a truly global village. It has rendered all the communication and interaction barriers immaterial. We can now contact anyone around the world at any time with just a few clicks and a mouse. Be it reconnecting with our old friends and acquaintances, making new ones, sharing ideas, content and pictures, or anything of that matter, social media has us covered completely. Do you agree with it? That social media has covered our lives completely today? Without question, social media has had a profound impact on the concept of a personal brand. Our lives have become increasingly more public as we all share information on a variety of network. Social media has also democratized the agenda setting theory as every person has now become a citizen journalist. Furthermore, social media has also had a profound impact on politics. Young people around the world are now more involved than ever in the country's politics. Social media tools have served to rally people for a cause and have inspired mass movements and political unrests in many countries. Mass media, including social media, is having a great influence on children. Although there are many positives, social learning theory states that children and adolescents learn observing and imitating what they see on the screen, particularly when these behaviors seem realistic, heroic, and are often rewarded. Most of the animation films shown on television contain a lot of aggression. Children repeat what they see on the screens. This is the consequences of identification. Children feel satisfaction in playing some computer games and mentally breaking the moral barriers and the moral standards. In the course of this journey, a child does not endure human emotions like pain, sympathy, empathy, etc. This is a downside of the social media and the mass media's impact on children. The recently concluded, now coming about the media and the size of the industry in India, the recently concluded FICCI Frames in Mumbai discussed the impact of media industry in great detail. The size of the media and entertainment industry in India is 1,38,000 crore rupees, or US dollars 23 billion, set to climb to 1,86,000 crores. Please remember, when we hear that the economy is not growing as fast as it should be growing, it is the media entertainment industry which is clocking a near 20% growth. What it means is that this industry offers a lot of opportunities, including job opportunities, which must be a very good news for the students who are pursuing the mass media courses here. Unlike the West, TV and print both are huge mediums in India. But TV is growing stronger by the day. TV is growing based on entertainment, but print is still more about news. Within TV, entertainment channels take a lion's share and not news or any other genres. Total TV penetration in the country has reached about 64%, and rural areas, the TV ownership households have crossed the 50% mark. So we still have some way to go to catch up or to experience the complete impact of mass media on the entire population of the country. When private TV channels arrived, everyone said print will die. The same was said when radio had come. And now the digital media has arrived, and again the same thing is being said, but I am still convinced that print is going to be around is not going to go away anytime soon. Though on a smaller scale, do you know which is the fastest growing sector amongst the media and entertainment industry? Any guesses? It's television? Internet is a very, very, very broader term. More than the television, it is the animation, special effects, gaming. This is the sector which is clocking growth, very high growth, in the sense that television and gaming industry is clocking the highest growth rate of 20%. Today, India accounts for approximately 10% of all the global animation and VFX. How many of you remember Life of Pi, Skyfall? All of them, the special effects were made in India. I mean, these are all very, very well-known films. They made across the world. They are Hollywood films. They are not Indian films. Though Life of Pi was based on an Indian character, but all that entire special effects of James Bond movies and the Life of Pi and many other movies are now being made in India. So this is one sector which is offering tremendous opportunities because of two things. Like A, India is a place where these things can be done at a cost-effective manner, and then there is abundance of creativity among Indians, which the West is now realizing. So there is a great hope for the VFX and the animation industry. Without doubt, the media scenario in India has seen exponential growth. We have experienced both positive as well as negative impact of media. Media in India has played a key role in development and capacity building. Who do not know the impact of media which had in conveying the messages of family planning, national integration, agricultural development, and the green revolution, etc. So it has played a pivotal role in the development of the country as well, and in capacity building, which includes enhancement of skills, enhancement of delivery techniques, enhancement of governance. But as I said in the beginning, media has become an integral part of our lives. There is no avoiding it. Just the way we learn to ride a bicycle, we need to learn the art of navigating the maze of ever-expanding mass media. It is about being aware. It is just about being media educated, as you all are doing. Thank you. Jai Hind.
And now it is the time for our chief guest for today's conference, Mr. Manmohan Sadana. He is presently Joint Director General, Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Prior to this, he was posted as Regional Director, East Asia, India Tourism, Tokyo. He has an experience of working as a head of India Tourism offices in Stockholm and Paris, with additional charge of India Tourism offices in Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Dubai, and Johannesburg. In the Ministry of Tourism headquarters, he has looked after the hotel and restaurant and travel trade divisions and the overseas marketing and hospitality divisions. Before joining the Ministry of Tourism, he worked in the hotel sales and marketing division of the Ashok Group of Hotels and started his career in the Bank of America. As he has an urgent work to attend in the Parliament House and he's an active member in the question hour, so I request you, sir, to kindly come on the dais and share your views. Please, sir.
At the outset, I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the distinguished speakers who are on the dais. It's an honor to be with them. In fact, while having a cup of tea, I was a silent listener. And the interaction which took place was an education in itself. Thank you. Media is a very important subject which we feel that it started maybe a few hundred years ago. But in fact, when God made man, he made media. Media even existed in the Garden of Eden. Saturn used that apple as a tool of advertisement, which brought down the fall of mankind. After they had taken the apple tree of knowledge, the couple started interacting, became aware of their nakedness. This is what happens when we hear to the various debates which take place, we interact amongst ourselves. Media is connected with technology. As society progressed, we became food gatherers, animal hunters. Runners became a tool for communication in media. In India, pigeons became a tool for communication. Messages were passed from one kingdom to another through pigeons. In the jungles of Congo and in Africa, they used to use drums. There were many people in the forest, they used to play the beats on trees, which were passed on to another person sitting on the tree, and the entire society used to come about to know about it. The real boost media got was with the invention of paper. We had to sacrifice our trees to get the paper, and then the newspapers came. Early on, there was not mass circulation. So in villages, we had the head of the village reading the paper to the entire community there, where they used to meet in the evenings. But with the progress of media and technology, mass newspapers started circulation, and then came the internet. The impact of internet was tremendous, and that is what changed the role of media in India and in the entire world. And internet, TV, it has been a real big boon which has its pros and cons in society. As society kept on progressing, we came up with social media. Social media has so many tools, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it, and it has. And we have become really addicted to it. There were two friends, they were talking amongst themselves. So one of them asked another, do you have Facebook? He said, no. He said, do you have WhatsApp? Again, he said, no. He said, then what do you have? He says, I have a life. He said, what life? Kehta, I use it for Candy Crush. But the tools which we use for social media, we can't use it for our homes. I am from the tourism industry. Now we have drawn out a social media marketing plan to promote the Incredible India product in all key markets and primary markets and tertiary markets abroad. And the result of it is the Ministry of Tourism had 14 tourist offices abroad in various countries. This year we have closed 8 of them. We don't need. for dissemination of information because information is coming to your rooms. Social media has helped in reaching people's home computers. But just as a tongue-in-cheek humor, a person said that he'll use the Facebook tools in his daily life also to make friends. So when he came out of his apartment into the colony, the first person he met, he wished him, and he said, I had an omelette for breakfast. This is what we do on Facebook. Any small happening, we mention it on Facebook. There was a time in my age when we used to keep diaries. And even if a sibling used to read that diary, we used to get very bugged about it. But nowadays, if one of our friends doesn't like us on Facebook for something, he had it. Society has changed. And then I asked the friend, when you use the tools of Facebook on your real life, what happened? How many followers do you have? He said, I have 4 followers. 2 policemen, 1 social worker, and 1 psychiatrist. Which means as society changes, the impact also changes. So personally, I feel that social media and all types of media are tools which can be used for good of society, for the country, but it has its cons which can create ruckus. Twitter, sometimes what happens is spreading of false news. And it spreads at such a large scale that it's very difficult to bring back what has happened. The damage which is done is done. Yesterday I received a WhatsApp saying that Irfan Khan had blood cancer. And it has spread to millions of people without any scientific base on it. The damage which can be done is incredible. So during the day, deliberations are going to be many, and I look forward to Dr. Ajay Kumar sending me a copy of the deliberations. All the best, and all the best in your careers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead, now I request Dr. M.K. Soni, who has been working as Pro Vice Chancellor of Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Faridabad. Earlier, he was working as a professor in ECE, Dean Faculty of Engineering and Technology, and Executive Director in Manav Rachna International Institute, Research and Studies, Faridabad since 2006. Dr. Soni has curated more than 25 institutes throughout the country, and also he has been a chairperson of NBA committees. He was appointed as Independent Director in the Board of Directors, National Projects Construction, Government of India, by President of India for 3 years, since 2010 to 2013. He has published more than 156 research papers in various national and international journals and conferences. He is a member of technical and management committees in many universities and institutes. And even he has guided many PhD and MPhil scholars. Sir, I invite you to kindly come on the dais and share your views. Please.
Good morning to everybody. I really congratulate you for organizing a very emerging area seminar, that is the power of media and shaping the future. Before I proceed further, I really express my gratitude for calling me as a guest of honor for this conference. Thank you very much, Dr. Ajay Kumar ji. You see, this is the age of communication. When I say the age of communication means there is a revolution, tremendous amount of communication medias are available, and this is due to the development of the advancement in the technology. The IT technology, the satellite TV, internet, and software technology. that really has revolutionized the every sector in this universe. And the most prominent sector, that is the media, has been influenced to a great extent. And that is why the media has been changed tremendously. Whatever the media we used to think earlier, the media concept has been changed. Now, to run a democracy, we have three institutions: legislative, executive, and judiciary. These institutions run the government of the country for the welfare and the development of the people. The mass media is acting as a bridge between the people and the government to know how the people are reacting and to what are they doing. So media can be considered as a fourth institution in the democracy. So we can understand how the media is powerful and how it can influence the people. It is quite evident to all of us that the mass media has become an essential part of the everyone's life. Rather, the media play a constructive role in today's society, from increasing public awareness to collecting views, information, and also the attitude of the people towards certain issues. So it is one of the most powerful tools of communication in the developing country as well as in the developed countries. It can aid in promoting the right things at a right point of time, or can make use of any situation to create disturbance around the people or in the society. Media has to provide a strong message to the world about what is right or wrong. The mass media is a tremendous source of information for individuals as well as for the society. The media performs three functions: inform, influence, and entertains. Hence, the media is responsible for all the revolutionary changes in the social structure, social behavior, and social attitude. The world is making a steady progress towards the betterment future of everybody, but still people are bound by the social problems and issues directly or indirectly are affected by the people and for the people. No one can deny the blessing of media in today's world. The mass media helps people to remain informed and updated about the various news, events, social activities, lifestyle, entertainment, and advertisement, irrespective of the geographical barriers. For example, while sitting in India, one can get all latest news and events of UK or USA, like even while sitting miles away, one got the breaking news of the Barack Obama winning the president election, and he became the first African-American president to hold this office. The mass media has made profound impact on the societies and other culture. It seizes the boundary of the different societies among the individuals and create globalization. The globalization concept has come from this because of the advancement in the technology and influence the media. The globalization is a decent case to delineate the friendship of media, since people can witness what is happening in different nations and how they dress up and what their ways of life is. Subsequently, they typically mirror what others do. Furthermore, media are a storehouse of information. It educates individuals about day-to-day occasions or new revelations. This data, some of the time, is utilized to change individuals' sentiments. For instance, in race of president, the devotee of candidate publicized in media such as TV or web for them, and in guest consideration regarding choose any individual that they need. Thus, using mass media has a powerful influence in shaping the person's life. So using mass media, people's attitude and habits can be changed. However, mass media can have both positive and negative impact on the lives and on the mind of the people. It depends on the mindset of people as to which side they look into. The media can help to create awareness among the people faster than any other thing. In fact, mass media can have a greater impact on the people's lifestyle and culture. With this point stressed on the negative impact of the TV, it also have made some positive impact for the society. Now television can then create social awareness about the social economical problem and issues like that, AIDS, child abuse, female footage, and so on, which focuses on making the people aware of the harsh reality of the life. It mainly discusses and provides possible solutions to the various social issues of India. It aims to empower citizens with information. Hence, through the type of the show, many NGOs come up and with the social causes and hold campaigns, demonstrations, and protests in order to demand justice. The social media has the power to mobilize mass movement. For example, Tunisia and Egypt saw an increasing use of the social media platform, that is the social media networking sites like Facebook and Twitter, in order to help the citizens in organizing, communicate, and ultimately initiating street action and civil disobedience campaign. In India, literacy forms an substantial barrier to the development of a country. In order to deal with this type of situation, radio, especially community radio station, can help to reach out a large number of masses. Like the poor people, because it is affordable and also uses less electricity. The community radio lends to a voice to the community they serve with the program in the local languages. And also respecting the local culture and tradition, it also provides a counterbalance to the increasing globalization and commercialization of the media. Any programs can be successful if the information is disseminated at the grassroots levels. Hence, the radio forms another major platform that helps in reaching out the rural masses, especially creating awareness regarding government policies. Now, a mass media like TV channel can demonstrate and show how things work. The national TV channel holds education program. It helps in educating the children. The social networking platform like Facebook has brought people closer to each other. People now can easily connect with their friends and relatives who resides abroad or far away from the house. So the speed of media has resulted in bringing the people across the world closer. With technological advancements such as internet has made it possible to bring the various forms of electronic media to our workplace and homes at the click of the button. The World Wide Web, internet, has brought people and country much, much closer. The mass media are used by the consumer industry to inform people about their products and services through advertisement. Hence, the explosion of communication, particularly electronic communication, such as satellite TV and internet, has revolutionized the mass media. The explosion has made the media, the mass media, most powerful sector, and this can have both the negative and the positive sides. Like any other profession, the media also need to have code of ethics and guidelines on what is right and what is wrong. The Press Trust of India is one of the organizations which normally issues guidelines on the media ethics. I hope this conference will discuss the innovative ideas and development issues related to power of media and how the impact of different media technology can bring about desirable changes in the society for the betterment of the human beings. I hope that this conference will be bringing all the objectives which have been carried out, and I wish all the best for the success of this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead, I would like to call upon our first guest of honor. Dr. Nemo Dhar has been working in the field of public relations and communications from the last 40 years. She was Director Public Relations for 15 years and subsequently Commissioner Public Relations and Advisor Public Relations in Delhi Development Authority, Government of India. And at present, she is Dean, Faculty of Media Studies and Humanities, Manav Rachna International University, Faridabad, Haryana. She is double postgraduate. She has done PhD in Journalism and Mass Communication. Her innings in Delhi Development Authority and her media handling and PR strategy is well known in PR circles. Ma'am, we are indeed honored to have you here with us in this today's conference. I request you to kindly come on the dais, please.
Good morning to all of you. Dignitaries on the dais, my senior Dr. Soni, and all the senior functionaries of Tecnia Institute, and my dear students. See, I am a person who has worked for the industry as well as who has been teaching the students like you at our university. My speakers before me, they have elaborated on how the media explosion has come up and how media is useful in, bringing about certain facts to the fore. But see, I will try to tell you what is the practical thing which is happening in media. It is no doubt shaping our perceptions, but are they being shaped in the right direction? And secondly, what as students is your responsibility towards the profession so that you can ensure a safe and good future for the generations to come as journalists? As you know, media today is all pervasive, isn't it? It has permeated all aspects of our life, be it our workplaces, be our society, be our behavior, values, traditions, etc. Hasn't it permeated in all the aspects of our life? Do you agree with me or not? From a medium of just disseminating information, it has become a via media of shaping our perceptions and our opinions over a period of time. The multiplicity of media platforms, the pace and reach of information has tremendously increased because of internet and advancement in the media technology. This, coupled with the increased commercialization, has affected a paradigm shift in the activities and aspirations of media professionals as well as the society at large, and have threatened the established ways of their correlation. There used to be a correlation between the media and the society when media was a mission and news finding investigation was that mission. But nowadays, media has commercialized and news has just become incidental to it because our basic purpose is commercialization, earning profit. So there is a paradigm shift. The old dilemma between freedom of press and the requirement of democracy to have a free and active media with accountability to public and society has become very complex. Once, Mr. Veer Sanghvi, the earlier editor of Hindustan Times, said, we are at a stage where media today is not just an observer or an investigator, but it participates in the political process. True, but is this participation limited only to the political process? No, it has permeated in almost every sphere of societal and human activity. Today, the media landscape has totally changed. Digitization and social media and the convergence of all these has posed a challenge to mass media and to the traditional models of media accountability and responsibility. As students, do you know what were the traditional models of media responsibility and accountability? Can anyone tell me what were the traditional models of media responsibility and accountability? No, you should know. See, earlier, media ethics, press council, etc. were responsible for maintaining the media accountability and responsibility. But now they are no longer effective. In this scenario, where there is a fierce competition to be the first to report, because every channel struggles to report the media first, they are the first to expose, because every channel will say, this is our expose, and they are the first to report the impact of their reporting. You must have seen in Times of India, whenever there is a report, they will write the impact of Times of India report. So there is a struggle to report first, to report the impact first, and be exclusive. Since the first facilitates active participation, increased readability of the audiences of the newspaper, there is an explicit desire to present news in a way that catches the maximum eyeballs and at the same time which suits their corporate bosses, that is the owners of the media houses. The phenomena of paid news has added to in precipitating a confusion with the public wondering as to what to believe and what not to believe. The desire to sensationalize, to raise the TRP, though serves the corporate bosses, is not in the interest of the society. No doubt, media has been instrumental in very big exposés which brought justice to many aggrieved people and has served the society, but the need is to find out who will guard the guardians, the guardians of the news, who will guard the guardians. That is the need of the hour. Media today has a great power as it can sway opinions, create mass movements, bring revolutions, but in the interest of society, if press wants to be free, if it wants to report, it has to be responsible to the citizens, to the society, and first of all, to itself. The press, as a professional, you have to be responsible to yourself. The media should authenticate every message and shape it only in the interest of the society. They have a responsibility and an accountability for every act of theirs. If we look at the media responsibility carefully, it has large connotations when viewed from the micro level. At the macro level, it is a term for the belief that mass media will work for the betterment of the society and keep citizenry informed to strengthen and support democratic processes. Similarly, accountability at the same time is the belief that mass media has to be accountable in the interest of the society, in public interest, and should contribute through information dissemination to good governance and democratic processes. It should not always try to report first without verification, harming all these institutions. Both the concepts focus on public and society, but are not clearly defined or structured. That is accountability and responsibility. They have not been defined or structured in any media operations. They often collide with the interests of the owners of the media houses, governance interests, and issues, and also with the legal issues such as the right to freedom and expression, public perceptions, security, etc. To strike a balance between media responsibility and accountability, it is imperative that it cannot be imposed through regulations, but it has to come from within, or has to be inculcated in the journalists right from their initiation into the profession. That is at your stage. Responsibility and accountability has to be inculcated. And it has to be nurtured and groomed through sense of belonging for the profession. Everyone should have a sense of belonging for the profession. There is a need to think creative and devise alternative accountability systems to ensure that this accountability for whenever it is reported to the public and the way it is presented has to be correct. The tendency of the media to portray non-issues as very big issues and generate perceptions which over a period of time become a reality. See, perceptions may be true or may not be true. But if wrong perceptions are allowed to settle, they become a reality, they become an opinion. So the tendency of the media to portray non-issues as rare issues to generate perceptions, which over a period of time become opinion, needs to be curbed. The real issues like development issues or issues concerning the betterment of society or nation, which are often sidelines, should be shaped first. Media, as you agree with me, is thus shaping the future, as it influences our thinking process, it engineers our thinking process, our behavior, our values, and whatnot. But should we allow our future to be ruled in a direction as it is at present? That is a big question. And when fake news and news without authentication is the norm of the day, is that the way we should shape our future? No. The job of the media is to pass information without being judgmental, analyze issues and events without any bias or prejudice, as they must realize the freedom of expression does not entail any special privileges for the journalists. Let our future be shaped in a positive manner and not marred by our zest to outperform and commercialize the otherwise noble and missionary profession. Let media rule the future so as to protect our value system, traditions, and ethos of this great country and humankind. Let it be the watchdog and a guardian, but not a perception manager or a reputation manager or a commercial enterprise. This is what I will say to you as students of journalism, and I'm sure the conference over a period of the day will try to evolve certain inputs which will be a benefit to all of you in shaping your profession. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Our next guest of honor is the man who actually is the man of fields, who know ins and out of the media industry. Mr. Rishabh Sharma is the renowned sports anchor who's presently working in Z News. He's having 12 plus years of experience with various media and news organizations. He had the opportunity to officiate in various departments. As a reporter and newscaster, he has also interviewed more than 400 celebrities from field of sports, film, and political. Interviews who have been conducted by him were not on the basis of personal contacts and relations. Sir, I request you to kindly come on the dais and bless us with your kind words, please.
As you all are young, मैं आज से 15 साल पहले के अपने टाइम को देखता हूँ, तो उसमें मुझे लग रहा है कि ये चीज़ें आप फ्यूचर के तौर पर सोच सकते हैं कि आप करना क्या चाहते हैं. प्रिंट में जाना चाहते हैं, टेलीविज़न में जाना चाहते हैं, रिपोर्टर बनना चाहते हैं, एंकर बनना चाहते हैं, एक्टर बनना चाहते हैं. ये सारी चीज़ें मास कम्युनिकेशन में आती हैं. तो इन चीज़ों के बारे में आप सोचें. व्हाट यू वांट टू डू. अगर आप अभी से तैयारी शुरू करेंगे, इट विल हेल्प यू. मैंने सोचा था मैं स्पोर्ट्स जर्नलिस्ट बनूंगा बिकॉज आई यूज़ टू प्ले क्रिकेट. मुझे क्रिकेट की बड़ी अच्छी नॉलेज थी, मुझे लगता था. तो मैंने अपना फोटे उसी को टारगेट किया और उस क्रिकेट की बदौलत आज की तारीख में मैंने बहुत सारे क्रिकेट टूर्नामेंट्स, क्रिकेट कवरेजेस की हैं. आई थिंक 80% से ज़्यादा जो करंट इंडियन टीम के प्लेयर्स हैं, दे ऑल आर ऑन माई फ़ोन. मेरे एक फ़ोन कॉल पर उनके साथ में मेरी बात होती है. ऐसे ही कुछ लोग पॉलिटिकल नॉलेज रखते हैं तो उनको पॉलिटिक्स की रिपोर्टिंग के बड़ा शौक़ होता है. कुछ लोग होते हैं वो एंटरटेनमेंट बॉलीवुड से इंटरेस्ट रखते हैं, तो वो फिल्म लाइन में जा सकते हैं. तो अभी से अपना एक पैसेज बनाना तैयार करना शुरू करें. इससे आप सभी को फ़ायदा होगा कि आप क्या करना चाहते हैं. टेलीविज़न देखिए नॉट टू सी न्यूज़ बट टू लर्न न्यूज़. अखबार पढ़ें not to get the news but just to know how to write news. वेबसाइट्स देखें, इंटरनेट देखें, ये आपका फ्यूचर तैयार करेगा. पावर ऑफ मीडिया यही है कि आपको कनेक्ट करती है दुनिया से, लेकिन अगर आप खुद को कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे तो वहाँ पे आपके लिए लाइफ में स्ट्रगल, चैलेंज, सब चीज़ें बनी रहेंगी. और आई थिंक यहाँ पर मैं कंक्लूड करूँगा, बट बेस्ट यही रहेगा कि इफ़ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन यू बेटर शुड आस्क मी, क्योंकि इंटरजेक्शन शुड बी अलाउड. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Moving next, our next guest of honor is Professor S.S. Handa. He was former senior professor and consultant of quality management sciences at Indian Statistical Institute, New Delhi. He was full-time faculty member and consultant for 42 years. He has published more than 250 technical reports, case studies, and research papers in national and international journals on the application of quantitative methods to real-life problems in industry, through which he has been propagated TQM philosophy. Sir, I request you to kindly come on the dais and share your views, please.
Good afternoon to all of you. I hope none of you is sleeping. You have been listening very, very carefully for last 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Okay, fine. I will not take more than 5 minutes, okay? And I will take back to memories of media and then the growth of media and how powerful it has grown over time. I was very keen when I was a class 5 or class 6 student to get connected with media. Unfortunately, 1955, go back. What was the media available at that time? Only print and radio, nothing else. And I was very keen at the place where I belong to Punjab, Ambala, Karnal. I mean, this now in Haryana, I used to get Tribune. I do not know how many of you have heard about the newspaper Tribune. Even today, it's very popular. It's a Dayal Singh group, Dayal Singh College, same group used to publish Tribune. And the radio. I will keenly listen English news and Hindi news. Now, we start with the news, Surjit Sen, English news reader at that time. Hindi, Shami Narang. And then from the radio, it went to television. Television, way back, 1960, the first television came up, JK TV. And then by that time, I was a class 10th student, and I was very keen to see the news in the TV. Hindi news, Salma Sultan, Anjali Rai, if I remember, Pratima Puri, Shami Narang. Some of those people will be knowing the oldies, but you people, Rishabh took you 15 years back, I am taking them 40 years back. Okay? Roughly 40 to 45 years back. अब देखिए उस वक्त यही चीज़ थी. I was very keen news listener. Then coming back to English news on TV. Nidhi Ravindran. I do not know how many have heard about her. Then Gitanjali Iyer. They were the English news, but perfect. See, as he told, it is more an experience, learning process. You youngsters coming up, there was no internet, nothing, and communication from the international used to reach us after 2 days, 3 days. But now, at the click, you have. Well, the power also has grown up. Today, you have access to YouTube, your social media, then you have Facebook. How much it has grown. And day by day it is growing. And I'm sure that by the time you take up the job, you have to look in the new avenues. How media is becoming more and more powerful over the days. And I wish all of you a very good future and jobs for all of you. And as he has told that it is not the bookish learning, it is the experience which makes a difference. And over the time, I'm sure that you will acquire with the availability of all mass media, communication systems, modern systems available. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, to continue with the proceeding of the conference, I would request Dr. A.K. Srivastav to address the gathering. He is doctorate in management and high-performing management professional with more than 37 years of academic research, consultancy, and corporate experience. He has been author of more than 16 books and presented more than 25 research in national and international conferences. Dr. Srivastav has taken consultancies in the area of social accountability, TQM, market research, and feasibility report. Okay, sir. I take the honor to invite you on the dais, please.
Now, today we are meeting in the 31st National Conference on Power of Media Shaping Future. Media is the most important in India these days, and it's the most important types of Indian communication. Media is television, radio, cinema, newspaper, magazine, and internet-based websites. Many of the medias are controlled by large for-profit corporations to reap revenues from advertising, subscription, film industry. Today, if I look into it, India has more than 70,000 newspapers, over 1,600 satellite channels, more than 400 are news channels, and the biggest newspaper market of the world, over 100 million copies sold every day. Often, Indian media is also criticized for deteriorating reporting standards, what Rishabh was also talking. And the coverage of the diversified political views, which sometimes if you listen to a particular channel, you will come across to know that this channel is favoring one political news, and therefore, in 2017 World Press Freedom Index given by Reporter Without Borders ranks India as 136 out of 180 countries, and therefore, the rank of 136 is not a blot on our media, which is supposed to be the largest democracy of the world. One wishes that the government showed as much as sincerity for improving media's ranking in the Press Freedom Index as they do in the World Banking Indexes. Even if I look into the various activities, some Indian media controlled by businessmen, politicians, government bureaucrats are facing criticism for the biasness, motivated reporting, and the selective presentation. If we just remember Nepal's earthquake on 25th April 2015, in spite of India helping, news tweets come from the Nepal saying that go home, go back Indians media. Disturbed by the corruption, way back on 3rd May 2015, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal have to say that the public trial of Indian media. And similarly, if I look into the date of 8th May 2015, IBA Minister then, Arun Jaitley, echoed this similar saying, the floods of channel but dread of facts. So now it's a selective presentation, and I think the media has to realize that in shaping up the future, how they are going to control these things and making the not making the sensitization of the various news channels. And now, as a reporter, Rishabhji can also understand that criminal defamation cases are being launched, and I think Z News is one of the channels which has suffered in one of the coal scam. How many of you have remembered coal scam? And Sudhir Chaudharyji's name? Only three. Now, how many of you know that Esser Group, a multi-millionaire business house, filed a defamation suit against one magazine which was very popular for the investigative journalism, Karwan? In way back, it was a defamation case of 250 crores. So this is one area where we should look into. Then media regulators are without any power. If you look into Press Council, or if you look into the News Broadcasting Standards Authority, they are the only regulatory body without any powers. So what the government and the agencies should look into for those aspects of giving powers to these regulatory body to control fake news, to control other type of news which are not very relevant in the setup. So therefore, we have to look into. And if I look into the National News Broadcasters Association, the membership of this is voluntarily. Only out of 135 news channels of the country, only 28 news broadcasters owing to 57 channels are the member of NBA. Means that rest are not bothered for the regulatory bodies. A large number of television channels continue to be beyond the ambit of any regulation by virtue of not being the part of NBA. In such scenario, I think the regulatory bodies are there, but they are toothless tigers. Then there are no protection from the law at the source. We have heard one killing of one journalist in Karnataka, and these things comes up time to time. And where the journalist feels that if they exposed to anything, any scam, they are in danger. Their lives are in danger. If they get into some story where the corruption comes into. We exactly remember Tehalka.com, long back. There was a channel, and ultimately what has happened to that channel, I don't know. So there is no protection from the law, and therefore in the interest of democracy, it is essential that the exchange of ideas must take place in the unbiased manner where all citizens can access the information with free and biasness and without any prejudices. The debate around the media needs to be seriously looked into at various facts of the regulation that hinders its freedom. As a public good, the news media has important role in our democracy. I think this conference will be going to discuss and throw lights. That's how the power of media is going to contribute in restructuring the future India as a fourth pillar of democracy. As every channel is busy in TRP through explosion of communication at all levels of combinations and information, including the information and entertainment industry. So this conference, I am sure that with the passage of time, when we will be meeting in the different sessions, you will be having discussions on those, actually how to shape we all know that the power of media, but how to shape the power of media and the media regulations. I think this might be the critical discussions with the paper presenters, with my friends, and ultimately, I wish this conference to be a great success, where the students should take part and should also submit, as I have requested to your HOD and the convener of the program, what they have learned from this conference. Ultimately, the entire conference is meant for increasing the knowledge of the students, not the information. And if you want to increase your knowledge, Rishabhji has told, you have to take a tip every day. Job is not a problem, but continuation of a job is a problem. If you are not fit with the changing trends of the media industry, no one can hire you. No one is having any free lunches. So please, at the end of the conference, you should submit what you have learned from this conference. With this, I wish a very great success to the program, to this conference, and a very good participation of the students have really made us feel very happy for this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And last but not the least, I would request Dr. Kamaljeet Kaur, convener for this conference, to kindly come and give away the vote of thanks to bring the inaugural session a closing, please.
I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special day. This is the biggest day, as we have hosted the 31st National Conference of our institute with 200 delegates and 24 participating colleges and universities across the country from various streams of mass media, social sciences, management, and IT. On behalf of Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, I convey my regards and hearty thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Manmohan Sadana, Joint Director General, Ministry of Tourism, in absentia, for sharing his valuable thoughts. I would also like to thank keynote speaker, Mr. Manish Desai, Additional Director General, IIMC, for accepting our invitation and gracing the inaugural function with his keynote speech. I'm also thankful to guest of honor, Dr. M.K. Soni, Pro Vice Chancellor, Manav Rachna International University, Professor Dr. Nimodhar, Dean Faculty of Media Studies, Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Mr. Rishabh Sharma, Anchor Z News, and Dr. S.S. Handa, ex-professor and director, Indian Statistical Institute, Delhi, for gracing the occasion with their presence. I'm also thankful to Dr. Ram Kailash Gupta, Chairman, Tecnia Group of Institutions, and Dr. Sandhya Gupta, Vice Chairperson, Tecnia Group of Institutions, in absentia, for providing us with all possible logistic support towards organizing this conference. I am very much thankful to Dr. Ajay Kumar, Director, Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, and Dr. A.K. Srivastav, Chief Executive, A&D, Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, for continuous support and advices which have greatly helped towards the successful organization of the conference. I acknowledge the unwavering support received from co-convener Shalini Guliani, my entire department, Department of BBA, MBA, MCA, IQAC, Research and Publication Cell, Academic Cell, Organizing Committee, and student coordinators. I thank Professor Umesh Joshi, Mr. Sushil Kumar, the delegates, the plenary speakers, research scholars, and eminent personalities from various institutes, universities, and media industry for their enthusiastic participation in the conference. I take this opportunity to thank all the students present here. And I hope that the power of the success stories of our intellectual dice will definitely help our students in shaping their future. Thank you so much.
Once again, on behalf of Tecnia Institute of Advanced Studies, I thank our chief guest in absentia, guest of honors, and all other dignitaries for gracing this conference and devoting their precious time for sharing their views among us. Thank you so much.